Everybody, it's Sneaky Narcotic back at it again with a new RAVNICA spoiler video today. Pretty excited, guys. Pretty super freaking excited with today's spoilers. It's a whole page again. Just to double check, let's go to page 2. Actually, it's more than a page because I think we left off at Verity Circle. So let's get started. We'll start with Drillbit. Drillbit is a 2 generic, 1 black sorcery, and it is an uncommon. It has spectacle, 1 black mana, and you can cast this if an opponent, for its spectacle cost, if an opponent lost life this turn. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. So, I think it's interesting that they would put a Drillbit in here because it reminds me a lot of the Dimir build, where in Dimir they had a card called Thought. No, not Thought. Huh. Hold on just a second. Let's think. I just had this card. While I'm looking up this card, guys, please like, subscribe, do all the usual YouTube stuff. I'm going to say it again. I haven't been getting a lot of subscribes, even though I've been getting a lot of views. If you guys subscribe, that will support my channel for free, and that would also mean a lot to me, to be able to make my goal of YouTube, being a YouTube content creator, a reality. So anyways, Thought Erasure is the card I'm thinking about. And Thought Erasure was a Dimir staple card that basically said, let's Control Plus here. Control Plus. Ooh, low 2 Control Plus. Alright. So, Thought Erasure says that 1 blue, 1 black, target opponent reveals their hand, you choose a non-land card from it, that player discards that card, and you surveil 1. The thing about whoops. Let's go to page 2 here. The thing about Drillbit is that I like it if you're able to get it for its spectacle cost, but for the actual mana cost of Drillbit, I don't know, because it's a mix between that and the 2 black cards from Ixalan. One of them is, I think, Thoughtseize. I might be wrong. That might be a different card. Yeah, that's a different card. But that's also, if you're looking into the Modern or Legacy version, that's basically what this card is. Except for you don't, opponent doesn't lose 2 life. Yeah, except for opponent doesn't lose 2 life. Duress, that's one of them. Duress. And I forget the other one off the top of my head. Maybe this is it over here. Nope. Okay. But yeah, Duress is you choose a creature, and then the other one is you choose a non-creature, non-land card. So, oh wait, no, this is a non-creature, non-land card. The other one is a creature card. Yeah. So anyways, that's what that reminds me of, and as you can see with this, it's paying 1, and I guess it couldn't straight up pay 1, but I kind of wish that, whoops, let's go back to Google here. I kind of wish that it would have a similar filter surveil, maybe even just do a Thoughtseize, and make opponent lose 2 life, and make it black-red. Since this looks like it's coming from, a rakdos color. I just feel like it's off by just having that spectacle on it. The next card we're going to look at is a very interesting build of a card. There's a lot I want to say about this card, but I'll do that in my more in-depth videos on rares and mythic rares once the full spoilers come out. So, Nikya of the Old Road. It is a legendary creature, Centaur Druid. Very sweet, very nice. It is a 3 generic, 1 red, 1 green cost creature. It comes down as a 5/5, 4/5, but that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is you can't cast non-creature spells. Whatever, okay? And red and green, I mean, you might want to play some burn or some land fixing cards, land ramping cards. But every time you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of a type that land produced. That is crazy to me. It reminds me, there's 3 cards I know that do that off the top of my head. One of them, probably the most powerful of them, is Mirari's Conjecture. Not Mirari's Conjecture. I'm sorry. Mirari's Wake. I always get those two mixed up sometimes. And so Mirari's Wake was an enchantment that gave your creatures +1/+1, and whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of your to your mana pool of any type that land produced. So Mirari's Wake was in Selesnya, but this being a Rakdos, it's for the same, right? But it's a body instead. As you can see, it's a body instead. That's really the only big difference. Is instead of all your creatures getting +1/+1 and it being in white and green, where they make tokens, you're in red and green, where you already have big creatures, and now you're getting to play them more on curve, more than one at a time. That's the other thing. The other 2 cards are basically the same cards, so I'll just look up. It's Cage Sun and Gauntlet of Might, I want to say. I get Gauntlet of Power and Gauntlet of Might mixed up. Whoops. Not what I'm looking for. Gauntlet of Might. Yeah, see, Gauntlet of Might's the wrong one. It's Gauntlet of Power. This is the right one. So Gauntlet of Power, as Gauntlet comes in, choose the color, creatures you control of that color get +1/+1, and basic lands of that color, tap for an extra of that land, or of that color. So that's what it reminds me a lot of, and instead of being artifacts or enchantments where it just kind of stands off on its own, it has a body around it. And, that's pretty cool to me, because then it feels like an enchantment with a body. It's what it feels like. That's really what it feels like to me. The next card, it's also very interesting to me, even for an uncommon. Elf Scout. It's a green creature, 1 generic, 1 green, Elf Scout. That's it's not its name, but it's its creature's type. And so this says roundabout. This is what this says, because it's hard to translate this dialect, but basically enters the battlefield. When this card enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card and put it on top of the battlefield. Hold on. On top of your library. But put the remaining cards at the bottom of your library. Now that's pretty cool, because that it's a card that I was using recently. Elvish Rejuvenator. Elvish Rejuvenator is already half this for more mana cost. So Elvish Rejuvenator. This is a card I was using recently. And it's a 1/1. Comes in for 3, and then you look at the top 5, and you may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Okay. That's whatever, dude. This says, let's get back to it. Elf Scout says, enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards, so 1 less card. You may reveal a creature or land card and put it on top of your library. So instead of straight to the battlefield, on top of your library. Excuse me, for your next turn. It's 1 less, and it has 1 more power. So I guess it's about even. I doubt you play them together, but it's very cool, very interesting to me that you can just limitedly tutor up a land or a creature, and it would really go good with that nikya that I just showed y'all. But yeah, that's another card that I've really enjoyed looking at. Then we have, guys, we have a whole page. Look at this. A whole page of spoilers. An actual whole page of spoilers that they released for us today. So let's get into it. Again, more of this calligraphy. So we'll let MagicSpoiler.com do its work and read off what it is. So Sphinx of New Prahv. It is a white, white, blue, blue. So part of that cycle of two color. Type creature sphinx, rarity uncommon, set RAVNICA Allegiance. It comes down for a 4. Come on. Whoops. Give it a second. Okay, there we go. It comes down as a 4/3. It has flying, vigilance, and spells that your opponent cast target Sphinx of New Prahv cost 2 more to cast. So that makes a shock. Well, actually, you would need a lightning strike to kill Sphinx of New Prahv. A lightning strike would cost 4 mana to kill New Prahv, Sphinx of New Prahv. It's a 4/3 vigilance and flying. I kind of wish it was mixed where it was 3/4 instead of 4/3. That would give it a little bit more life where it wouldn't die from a lightning strike, but it'd still have a hefty amount of power where it would be worth it to keep it up in the air, flying at your opponent every single turn. I mean, it comes down on your 4. This is just cool to me. I really gotta say. Although it having 4 power, it kills things like it kills one of its brethren in that two color crackling drake. Yeah, it kills cards like crackling drake because of its power. Its toughness is 4. So it still wins me over. I like it. Let's go take a look at the next card. This card, if I'm not mistaken, makes Simic look bonkers. It's just crazy. It's called Essence Capture. It's 2 blue. Counter targets. It's an instant. Counter target spell. Place a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. So this brings up the idea of just playing counter Simic. First off, let's say that this is uncommon. Firstly, secondly, I think it's worth its uncommon. But then, if you think about it, this makes it to where you can have Simic control, Simic counter control. I'm trying to see from the other. Yes, the Frilled Mystic. This card and that card are just insane together because that means that you're able to continuously, especially with M19 having all the normal counter spells, you're allowed to counter a spell with Frilled Mystic, get it on the battlefield, then keep it alive. But not only keep it alive, keep it with some +1/+1 counters, making it bigger, where Frilled Mystics may be your only creature to get on the battlefield. It by itself will win the game for you. It'll take slow. It takes 7 turns by itself to kill your opponent, but it will happen, and it's so interesting to me that they would just make something like this. It feels like they made Simic. It feels like they heard what people were saying about Simic, about it not being that great of a guild, and about it needing an identity, and they gave it an identity, and it was very interesting, the identity that they chose for it. Anyways, the next card, Theater of Horrors. 1 generic, 1 black, 1 red. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. During your turn, if an opponent lost life this turn, you may play cards exiled with Theater of Horrors. And then, of course, it allows itself to deal damage to target opponent or planeswalker for 3 generic, 1 red. It's an enchantment, and it is a rare. So, this, to me, is... It's okay. You know, like, it's okay by itself. Right? At the beginning of your upkeep, I saw the top card. Oh, what was that card? What was that card from Aether Revolt? Oh man, there used to be a card, guys. There used to be a card that whenever you would attack, it would exile a card, and then when it died, you could pay 1 red mana and bring all the exiled cards into your hand, discard your hand, and bring all the exiled cards into your hand. And that was played a lot in aggro. Oh my god, I can't remember the name of it right now, but it was ridiculous. And then it reminds me of what they tried to do with with experimental frenzy. Where experimental frenzy allows you to just, you may play the top card of your library. You can't play cards from your hand. In fact, this kind of pairs really well with experimental frenzy at the beginning of your upkeep. Exile the top card of your library, because then instead of, well, then you're getting a lot of value because you can just play cards off the top of your library, and basically just make a freaking burn out the butt deck with experimental frenzy and theater of horrors, and then of course have some destroy creature spells in there just in case. And that's really what theater of horrors is about. Don't pay attention to it being a rakdos. It's really in mono red burn. Okay, don't pay attention to the other. Give me just a second. Let me take a sip of this water here. Alright. So, next we have Domri, the non-planeswalker deck Domri. So, Domri, Chaos Bringer, 2 generic, 1 red, 1 green, legendary planeswalker Domri. It's a mythic rare, of course. +1, add red or green. If that mana is spent to on a creature spell, it gains Riot. That's crazy. That's real crazy. That's extremely crazy. That by itself is good enough. Yet alone that this is a 4-cost planeswalker that is already coming down for 5 loyalty. There's a lot of cards, especially. I'm gonna stop right there before I go any further. There are a lot of cards in Commander that if you played this with if you gave them Riot, if you gave a creature Riot, let's give, for instance, if somehow you're playing a Narset, and you're using Domri's, add 1 red, hell, there you go, because Narset's Jeskai. Oh, let's just look it up. This is a deck that I actually played, where Narset is the commander. Now, of course, with Domri, you couldn't have Narset as the commander, but you could have her in the deck if you played a 4-color deck, red, blue, white, green. Narset comes down, and she has haste, because it doesn't matter what you want to do. It doesn't matter to put a +1/+1 counter on Narset, because Narset doesn't really need to survive more than 1 turn to give you the greatest value ever. So when Narset attacks, exile the top 4 cards of your library until end of turn. You can cast any non-creature cards exiled with Narset this turn without paying their mana cost. So that would already give you good enough value. And that's one card that I can think of. There's multiple other cards. If I wanted to spend a whole video, I could on Domri Chaos Bringer. Domri Chaos Bringer's +1 trigger. The -3 trigger, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creatures, 2 creature cards from among them, and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So that's pretty cool, because then you can pseudo tutor 2 creatures out of your deck, and especially if you're playing this with that, if you're playing this with the, what was this card called again? The Nikya. If you're playing this with Nikya, that's pretty good, because that's what you're mainly playing as creatures. This is the only non-creature spell you're playing, and that is something to keep in mind, though, because with Nikya you can't play Domri. Domri can't come out with Nikya, but Nikya can come out after Domri. So that's the caveat here. Excuse me. And then if you can get it to -8, which let's see, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 6, 7, 8. So turn 8, you can -8 if you get this on curve and consistently get your mana in probably shorter time, because let's be honest, green has a better way of bringing things out faster. You get an emblem with, at the beginning of each end step, create a 4/4 Oh, 4/4 red and green beast creature token with trample. So that's pretty cool. That's there's cards that do that in standard, not that, but do saprolings in standard, and they cost way too much mana for a 1/1 every single turn, but it's still good enough when it does come out that it's viable. You know, a lot of people play those saproling decks like that, and now you don't even have to play that. You got 4/4 red and green beast coming down. I almost said boars because that's what it looks like over there. That's pretty good for, you know, for Domri. I mean, it's +1 ability is good enough for the haste. For giving a creature haste and spending a mana, giving it a mana, like, that's great. That's giving you a 5th land on turn 5, by the way. Just saying, it does not have to be spent on a creature either. So, Kaya's Wrath, 2 white, 2 black. It's a sorcery. It's a rare. Destroy all creatures. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you control that were destroyed this way. That is pretty cool. In Commander for sure. In the way that they're building Orzhov's guild right now, is that's pretty good, because then it will trigger Afterlife. So even though you lost your let's say 2/1 creature, you still got a 1/1 flyer, and you gained a life from that. So, the way that they're building Orzhov right now, that's a pretty good card. Flavor text. Tessa convened the meeting of the Obzedat. Kaya ended it. Nice. The next card is interesting. It's a mesmerizing benthid. 3 generic, 2 blue, creature octopus, and it's a mythic rare. It's just interesting to me because it's a 4 or 5. Let's read its abilities first. When mesmerizing benthid enters the battlefield, create 2/0/2 blue illusion creature tokens with whenever this creature blocks a creature, that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Mesmerizing benthid has hexproof as long as you control an illusion. So that's pretty cool. You know, it keeps your opponent's creatures tapped, especially if they're the big creatures that you don't want, you know, swinging a lot. The thing that's weird about this to me is it's a 5 mana cost, 4/5. Actually, it's really a 4/9, because it brings out 2 more bodies and it's 0/2 blue illusions. I wish they had flying, but that's neither here nor there. It's interesting that it gives it hexproof as long as you control an illusion. And, like, there's cards that give illusion. I'm going to take a stab at this first one. I do not think I'm right, but let's try it out. Oh, dang. Mystic. Huh. There's that blue creature that makes 1/1 bird. I thought bird illusions, but I might be wrong. I'll forget about that one for now. There's a Jace that does that. Jace something Castaway. Yeah, Jace Castaway. Makes these Cunning Castaway. That's the one. So Jace Cunning Castaway makes 2/2 blue illusions, and so this, I could see this all of a sudden being viable at the end of its cycle, which is interesting to me that they would wait this long. But I could see this being weirdly in tune, some weird illusion deck, maybe blue-white, so you could put Radiant Destiny in there. Where's Radiant Destiny? Radiant. Come on, computer. You can do it. I trust you. It's because I have all these tabs up in case I need to reference something that is running a wee bit slow. Radiant Destiny, and naming illusion as the creature type, that would be pretty weird, to be honest, but pretty crazy if you think about it. Yeah, I guess I could see all of this going down, just something to that effect, you know. I'm sure there's more illusions out there, maybe in standard even, that I can't think about right now. But I'm sure in Commander you can make an illusion deck. That would be crazy. Granted, this is not going to be a Commander. So hackrobat, 1 generic, 1 black, 1 red creature, human rogue, and it is a uncommon spectacle of 1 black, 1 red. Hackrobat gains Death Touch until end of turn if you pay 1 black. Hackrobat gets +2, -2 until end of turn if you pay 1 red. It comes out as a 2/3, and the flavor text says they all want to see me fall. That's pretty funny. So for an uncommon, this is pretty cool. You know, if you could somehow give this first strike, this would be even cooler. Like, this would be a bomb diggity dog type of card, you know? Hexproof, not hexproof, first strike with Death Touch for 1 black. That would be pretty sweet. Other than that, I mean, that second ability of giving it +2, -2, that helps if you're trying to kill something for a high toughness, but it also makes sure Hackrobat is dead. I mean, there's not a lot of cards right now on standard other than like that one defender, or any defender for that matter, that is going to have 0 power. And that's what you need for Hackrobat not to die, but also kill a creature, unless it's a 2, obviously. Although, yeah, I guess that's why they added the Death Touch. So Rakdos Roustabout, 1 generic, 1 black, 1 red. Whenever Rakdos Roustabout becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking. That 1 has a bright future, perfect instincts for the Rhythm of Mayhem, Judith, 3/2. So it looks pretty cool for triggering Spectacle by itself. If you hear that background noise, that's my wife coming in. Just pay that no mind. I wish it wasn't a 2. That's the thing. It would get upgraded to an uncommon if it didn't have 2 power, 2 toughness. If it had 3 toughness, it would be an uncommon, and then it would be awesome because then you could consistently keep triggering Spectacle. But everything dies to 2. That's just the rule. The next card is Savage Smash. I won't spend too much time on this card. It's a 1 generic, 1 red, 1 green, sorcery, uncommon. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It fights target creature you don't control. A Gruul Berserker is never unarmed. That's what it says. It reminds me a lot of this Animus MTG. If I can spell Animus MTG. Yes, this Ancient Animus, putting a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control in. If it's legendary, then it fights target creature an opponent controls. And this came out in Dominaria, so that's what it reminds me of. Other than that, it's a Prey Upon, where you just basically have a target creature you control fight target creature you don't control. So let's just continue upwards. We have quite the amount of roads to go, but short amount of time to do it. So Gruul Beastmaster, 3 generic, 1 green, has Riot. It's a creature, human, shaman, and it's uncommon. Whenever Gruul Beastmaster attacks another creature you control, gets +X, +0 until end of turn, where X is Gruul Beastmaster's power. Now, what I do want to say about this is that if you play cards like Combat Tricks, if you play Sure Strike, one of the number 1 combat tricks I can think of off the top of my head, that affect your power rather than your toughness. If you play Sure Strike when you put it on Gruul Beastmaster, then that makes it to where Gruul Beastmaster is going to boost the other creature's power more, because then this will become a 5/2, and so it will boost the other creature's power up to 5 more. And so that's really where I like this. If you are trying to boost a trample creature, that's a really good way to do that without having to just straight up boost the trample creature. That gives you an extra 3 amount of damage. It's 6 amount of damage. It basically doubles a combat trick. So yeah, and then you can always do the old equipment, enchantments on Gruul Beastmaster to get that X value up. So that's a very interesting card, very cool card for Gruul. I'm liking Gruul a lot. I'm liking Simic and Gruul mostly, if you had to guess. So sauroform hybrid, 1 generic, 1 green, creature, human, lizard, wizard, and it is a uncommon. 4 generic, 2 green for an adapt of 4. So put 4 +1/+1 counters on it for its adapt cost. If no +1/+1 counters are on it already. Flavor text: within each of us, the potential for great power waits to be released. Zyja Simic Mutationalist, and it comes down for a 2/2 4/2 with an adaptability. So this is kind of on par. It's good. It's a good common. It comes out later, like especially in sealed or in draft. I would draft this just to have a threat for later. You know, it comes down already as a good 2/2, and then later it becomes a 6/6. Granted, no trample, but I mean, if you're playing draft, or hopefully if you got a good seal pack, you're gonna have some things we're gonna talk about in a little bit. Just pay attention to this adaptability. They made +1/+1 triggers. They made Simic crazy all of a sudden, guys. I want y'all to know. I've been taking a look at this all day, and I've been telling my buddy, I said, okay, so nobody's going to play anything but Simic now. Because everybody complained too much about Simic, and they said, hey, you know what? We hear your complaints. Here's some Simic cards. So here's a Vedalken Wizard. That's a creature type. It's a creature, Vedalken Wizard, and it's a uncommon. 1 generic, 1 green, 1 blue. It has tap, add green and blue. Add a mana of green and blue. And it comes down for 3. It's a 1/1 that comes down for 3 and adds green and blue. So, I like it. You know, it's good. It's could be even good enough for Commander, you know. Adding that green and blue and having a body to block if you want. It's just pretty good to me. And yeah, that's basically it in standard. It's a body to block if you need it to, and if not, well, add some mana to your mana field. This after this turn, even if you don't get another land out, this either gets you to 5 lands if you didn't get a land out, or it gets you up to 6 lands if you did get a land out. So there you go, you know. It's mana rock. What can you say about it? I wish I could tell you what the flavor text says, but I don't speak Spanish, and I'm disappointed in myself because I feel like I should learn Spanish in this calligraphy language here. Burn Bright, 2 generic, 1 red. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. From a great bonfire at the dawn of time, the first Gruul kindled their rage. The same flame burns in you. Kroshkar, Gruul Shaman. So, again, it's the combat trick. Hey, it's a combat trick. Closest thing I can think to it off the top of my head, just to give you guys an idea of what it plays like. Probably Trumpet Blast, I think. I always get Trumpet Blast mixed up with a different card. Yeah, attacking creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn. Yeah, so it's Trumpet Blast. It's exactly Trumpet Blast. Hey, it's Trumpet Blast. Except for, excuse me, my bad. Attacking creatures with Trumpet Blast. This is attacking or blocking or sitting still creatures. But yeah, it's basically a Trumpet Blast. This does really good with Gruul Beastmaster. And with Gruul Beastmaster not even being a legendary, if you have multiple instances of Gruul Beastmaster, it does really good with Gruul Beastmaster on your attack. So, yeah. Play some Gruul. Gruul sounds fun too. Gruul, honestly, all of these sound fun, except for Blue-White. But that's because I'm not a big fan of how the direction they went with Blue-White. So, you know, I'm not a big fan of what I would consider a prison deck. Just saying. So this card also doesn't have a name. It's an RNA instant. So RAVNICA Allegiance, that's the initials for it. The abbreviation for it. There's the right word. But it's basically creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. It is a rare. It has an addendum of, if you play this during your main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures. They gain control until end of turn. So, it's 2 generic, 1 white. What was it? I think it was Adamant Will is the card this reminds me of. This might be the card. I'm trying to make a stand. I think is the actual card. That might be it. It could be Adamant Will. It could be Make a Stand. Yeah, Adamant Will targets 1. Make a Stand targets all of them. Let's see here. Make a Stand. Okay, yeah, so Make a Stand. 2 generic, 1 white. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible until end of turn. Basically the same card, except for there's an addendum here. And the other card doesn't have addendum. But, I mean, they basically do the same thing. You know? Yeah, I like this card for blue-white. For white-black, I don't like this card. This card's not good for white-black. Because you want your creatures to die, or you don't care if your creatures die, at least not much. So here's one of these Simic cards. I was like, what? You actually made this? You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy, wizards. So, Trollbed Guardian. 4 generic, 1 green. Adapt of 2 generic, 1 green. Adapt 2. So put 2 +1/+1 counters on it if you adapt it. The creature is a Troll Frog Warrior. Pretty cool. It's an uncommon. It's a 5/5. And each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has trample. The flavor text says his favorite food is Kroll. So, that's funny. That's kind of like a really tiny troll looking thing. Anyways, that's going to make Simic crazy, especially because it's built around +1/+1s. And that's pretty cool. That's going to make cards like this, sauroform hybrid, insane. Kind of. Let's not go too far ahead of ourselves, but insane, kind of. The other card, because there was a green, there has to be a blue. Skaewing Spy. 3 generic, 1 blue. Creature Vedalken Rogue Mutant. And it is a uncommon. It has an adapt of 5 generic, 1 blue. And it's an adapt of 2. Each creature you control with the +1/+1 counter on it has flying. AKA the most evasive thing you can do. Other than unblockable. So, I love this. So if you get in fact, this is on curve too. A Skaewing Spy plus a Trollbed Guardian. That means on turn 6, you can have a bunch of creatures with flying and trample, and that's just freaking crazy. I'm telling you guys, this is making Simic look even better without having to do the whole counter everything deck, which you can do in Simic and still win now. Yeah. Combine Guildmage, 1 green, 1 blue. By the way, Skaewing Spy comes out for 2/3. Not that really matters. And the flavor text says, a better Ravnica begins with a better Simic, Vanifar. Combine Guildmage says, 1 green, 1 blue. Creature Merfolk Wizard. It's an uncommon. 1 generic, 1 green, tap. This turn, each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. With it worded like that, I don't think that means creatures without +1/+1 counters. I don't think that means that they will get a +1/+1 counter, but then I could be wrong. I might be reading that wrong. I might not. Like I said, I am not a judge. I am a player. 1 generic, 1 blue, tap it. Move a +1/+1 counter from target creature you control onto another target creature you control. I love being able to do this at instant speed. It's, as far as guild mages go, it's pretty good, I guess. You know, it does what the guild wants to do this time around, and that's really what's important here. Galloping Lizrog. This card here, man, I tell you what. 3 generic, 1 green, 1 blue. Creature, frog, lizard, uncommon. It is not an uncommon. It does not need an uncommon. Trample. When galloping lizrog enters the battlefield, you may remove any number of +1/+1 counters from among creatures you control. If you do, put twice that many +1/+1 counters on galloping lizrog. I might have overfed him. Golliston Simic Biomancer. Oh, guys. I'm going to just see if Google has it instead of going through 6 pages of spoilers to find it. Simic Ascendancy. Yes, my #1 Brewing Around card from Guilds of Ravnica Allegiance. Ravnica Allegiance. I keep putting the Guilds of on there, but it's Ravnica Allegiance. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control, put that many growth counters on Simic Ascendancy at the beginning of your upkeep. If Simic Ascendancy has 20 or more growth counters on it, you win the game. So, with this coming out for on turn 5, I counted, and you need 8 counters to be able to put on Galloping Lizrog, which would mean it would come out with for 16 counters on it, because it would double, put twice that many +1/+1 counters on Galloping Lizrog. And that means you would win the game on turn 6. If you can get it off. It's going to be a little hard to get 8 +1/+1 counters by turn 5. With turn 1, 2, 3, and 4. But if you can do it, you could potentially win on turn 6. And I'm more thinking about Commander than anything else. But even without Commander, Galloping Lizrog looks good to me. Doing Simic things, doing what Simic wants to do, making Simic have an identity of its own. People keep on complaining about these +1/+1 counters, but I like it because it's not going to consistently stay on the creature. If you bounce Galloping Lizrog, all those +1/+1 counters you had on your creatures that got transferred to Lizrog don't come back. So it's balanced to me to see the +1/+1 counters because you can just bounce it or kill the one. If you killed Galloping Lizrog for a cast down is 1 generic, 1 black to kill Lizrog, all your +1/+1 counters went to hell. And congratulations to you. You'll probably feel bad right about now. But anyways, Syndicate Guildmage. 1 white, 1 black, creature, human cleric, and it is an uncommon. It is a Guildmage. 1 generic, 1 white, tap target creature with power 4 or greater. That's cool. That's real cool. The other ability, 4 generic, 1 black, tap. Syndicate Guildmage deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. That's cool too, That's a little much for a shock, but whatever, It's not even in the right colors for a shock, so why not? I wish it was a drain ability, but you get what you get. And I kind of wish they would have did something with Afterlife or with Spirits, since that's what it's looking like Orzhov's about this time around. But you get what you get with these Guild Mages. It's a 2 costing 2/2, so that's already on point for what you're going to get. For it to have any ability, it makes it cool enough. Orzhov Racketeers, 4 generic, 1 black, creature, human, rogue. Whenever Orzhov Racketeer deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. Afterlife of 2. It is a 3/2. Looks like you need protection. That's what the flavor text says. It reminds me a lot of my deck I played the other day, Discard for Power. I can't remember off the top of my head what that creature was called, but it was basically a flyer. I almost believe for 4/3 for the same mana cost that did the same effect when deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. But it also had the drain ability to where instead of Afterlife 2, it would drain away the opponent's life if he discards a card. So I do like that because that gives you, especially in sealed, because that's the first place we're going to play any of these cards is in the sealed event. Pre-release, you buy a pre-release packet of 6 sealed cards, sealed, right? So in the sealed release, this is pretty good because you're already whittling away at your opponent's hand, and for them not to have much of a hand left is good. And then you get the Afterlife ability, which is 2 bodies on this one, so that's good too. I like bodies. Bodies are good. Ministrant of Obligation, 2 generic, 1 white, creature, human, cleric. it is a common afterlife of 2, so 2/1/1 white and black spirit creatures with flying. Hey, all this flying coming back to get us. Probably going to be good with the favorable wind at some point in time. When the price of your sins comes due, the Church of Deals is there to collect. And it comes down for 2 power, 1 toughness. So I like it. And even better, like, look, it has afterlife in its picture. There's the 2 spirits and the 1 person about to die because one toughness isn't going to get you anywhere. That's going to do it for the spoilers today, guys. I do want to mention to you guys that I do have a Facebook. I do have Twitter. My Facebook is... Let me pull it up. My Facebook is Magic Dex. I want to say Magic the Gathering Dex, and my Twitter handle is... Come on, Twitter. Is at Dex Magic, which the actual name is Magic the Gathering Dex again. I'm trying to just build a community, guys. Come give me some love. I want to join. I want to make this big community where we're just sharing decks and playing some good games of Magic. I don't even care, guys. I ain't doing this for money. I'm doing this for fun. So let's do it. I will be again. Go ahead and exile the video if you don't care about the channel too much or for the future games. This is going to be more channel information. Not this weekend, but the next weekend I will be out of town. I will be pre-recording videos this weekend for me going out of town. If there's somehow a spoilers while I'm out of town, I will make spoiler videos while I'm in the hotel after my kid and my wife goes to sleep. I will make spoiler videos for you guys because I love y'all that much and I love spoilers that much. So just know that I might be on vacation. I might be pre-recording things. I might even be if all the spoilers get spoiled by this weekend and I can get the translations and everything, we'll go to untap.in and even go ahead and play some RNA standard, which don't tell anybody, guys, but untap.in, that's where you go play it before it comes out. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Like, subscribe, to all the usual YouTube stuff. And this is Sneaky Narcotic, signing off.